All right, everybody, now keep all your phones and let's focus on. Don't always remember that for speaking part 3, you are always given. In speaking part 3, our structure for that one is we need to focus on the giving direct answer, and right after giving direct answer, you give your reason, and after giving a reason, as much as possible, you give your examples. Now, let's develop your vocabularies first for speaking part 3. Now, we have here a picture. Now, look at the picture. Do you think this is a social problem? I don't know, Vietnam has so much railway roads, right? In Vietnam, you could travel through to another places by the use of train. Yes or no? Yes. Now, is this a problem in your country? Yes or no? Have you seen problems like these or these in your country? Yes or no? No? Have you ever been into a train? No. Anyone here have experienced riding a train? Linda, have you? Oh no. How about you? No, what? So how do you, when you go to Hanoi, what do you usually you just motorbike, car? Bus. How long did it take you there? 2 hours. Oh, that's quick. Okay. Well, I took the train for how many times now? I traveled to Da Nang, going to Hanoi by train, and it's very tiring. It is very. And also in the Philippines, I have rode also train that much. And then yes, this is a problem actually. I haven't experienced this kind of problem here in Vietnam though, but in the Philippines or some other countries, we experience this so much. You know that there are some countries in the whole world that they are giving free transportation for trains. Do you know that? Or cheap transportation using train. That's why most people would prefer to take the train rather than taking the bus or taking the taxis because it's very cheap. Same goes as in my country. In the Philippines, we have very cheap train rides. What happened to you? What do you think will happen to that? If the government or the leaders of our country does do this kind of policies, giving cheap or free rides for people, transportation for people. Do you have any ideas? Linda, what do you think will happen if government gives free transportation, free fare or cheap fare for people? What do you think will happen? Look at the picture. Exactly. It will be overcrowded. Look at the picture. This picture actually shows the government giving free, cheap transportation for over MRTs, LRTs, railway transportation, metro railway transportation, MRTs. They would fit themselves inside that just to get free or cheap transportation. And that is very chaotic. You know? In India as well. Have you seen videos about that? I'll show you videos about that.
Work today is broken. We're all working in too many disconnected apps, and it's killing team productivity. But for the first time,
look at the video. crowded and chaotic it was, right? Same goes as in another country, not just that one, but there are also in Japan. Actually, Japan is so advanced, but there are still people rather choose to ride a train because it's quite more cheap. It's quite cheaper, okay? And then, not just that one, but in India, most of their transportation is very cheap. But when you buy like cars and whatsoever, like motorbikes, it's very expensive. That's why they would always prefer ride cheap transportation, and it's very crowded. Not just that one, but also buses. People would like, too much because it's cheap. So that's what I'm saying. Now, anyone, to what extent do you think it can cause health problems? Do you think these kind of social problems would cause health issues? Jack, would you think these kind of social problems would cause health issues to people? What? Do you think it would? Barry, do you think? Yes, exactly. What are these health problems that you would encounter whenever you encounter these kind of social problems?
I think it's lung disease.
Why would you think lung disease? Lung disease is when you... Okay, could you explain it to me? Don't laugh at me. Why would you think lung disease?
I don't know.
It's fine. Mary, do you have any ideas? What do you think are the problems or health problems you would encounter or you would have if you encounter these kind of social problems? What health issues do you think or health problems would you have or encounter when you encounter this kind of social problem? When you were there, would you get any health issues or problems?
I think the first health issues I will have from there, I mean, it would be the like get injured.
Exactly.
Injured, in my lung street.
Mm-hmm.
Some bruise or
Bruise, exactly. What else?
and doing something like that. And even if I got into that means of struggle, it would be kind of quite hard for me to breathe in there.
Exactly. That's a good one. Good job. Now, that is one of the problems you'll be encountering for your health. It's crowded. I'll tell you, when it's very crowded and it's a closed area, it would be like very disastrous. Why? There are people who have asthma. You know asthma? Yes. Asthma is somehow illness that you could feel that you have difficulties in breathing. Okay? Now, if you have asthma, it's a very serious health problem that you'll be experiencing there, that you'll experience. Next one is injuries. Right. Too crowded spaces, no place to move. And people will be like moving a lot. They may hit your stomach, they may hit anywhere of your face. That's why it will cause bruises or anything like injuries. Thank you for that, Mary. Anyway, everyone, I'd like you to complete the paragraph with the words below. We have here bath, we have here controlled, cope, and exist. We have here the global issue problems and solutions. I'll give you only 2 minutes for that. Answer now. This is to develop your vocabularies. All right, let's answer now. Number one, global health problems in solution. There are many health issues which affect broader society. One of these is stress today. People have to blank with lots of pressure. What? Cope, exactly. Cope a lot of pressure in life in terms of work and finance. Another problem is obesity. When we say obesity, it's like big, fat, too fat. This is because unhealthy food can be blank relatively, bought relatively cheaply. Now, however, this problem is perhaps specific to certain countries. In other countries, the problem is lack of food, hunger, and poverty still blank in exist in many places in the world. Also, there are still many parts of the world that suffer from diseases which are not adequately controlled. Continue answering now. Use aid, contracting, education, reflection, sanitation, and vaccination. right, let's answer. Can you please read the first sentence very aloud? Yes.
Although there are solutions to this problem,
These.
they are not easy to implement. That can prevent people from.
Okay, first, number 5, blank can prevent. What? What can we prevent from diseases? Vaccination, very good. Vaccinations can people from blank diseases. What's that? Huh? I heard contracting. Who said contracting? No one? I heard contracting. Contracting diseases. Contracting. Continue reading. Jack.
But we also need to improve to learn to help the other kind of disease which may be passed on by things like water supply rather than from person to person.
Yes. We're talking about here passed by things. Water supply. Therefore, no. Pass on things. Pass on things like water supply, person to person. It's what? Improves to what do we need to improve? What do we need to improve? The water supply, the person to person. What is that? Linda? Sanitation. You know what sanitation? Okay. Okay, later you'll know what's sanitation. Continue reading. Number 8. Kyler. Blank. Read.
Programs also help people in poverty. Yes, these need to be more sustainable. Perhaps by supporting food production in certain countries.
Thank you. Now, what programs? What programs with food production in some other country? It's what? Aid. Aid programs help. Okay. Number 9. Alisa, read. Alisa, read.
In other countries, obesity could be managed by
Blank. Oh, blank. Continue reading. Teaching. Continue reading. Teaching.
education.
Continue reading. Teaching.
Teaching people from a young age what is in seafood and how to make better food decisions.
What's the answer? We teaching people. It's
Education.
of course it's education. Lastly, read. Sandra.
Not yet, we will read by exercise and plan on what is important to
Could be dealt by exercise and blank. Reflection. Now everybody, I'd like you to get your phones and try to search what's the meaning of these following words. I'll give you only 2 minutes. Alright, now let's continue. Let's focus on lexical resources. Now let's listen to this interview. Let's hear if the candidate or the candidates were able to answer the questions with natural, with were they able to answer it naturally in logical order and then use wide range of vocabularies and avoid correcting their mistakes. Now listen to two candidates talking about health and answer the questions. Now we have here number one. Which candidate used vocabulary well? And to answer the examiner's question, you need to identify which one. Number two, write down some vocabularies or phrases that the candidate uses. Okay? Now write it down wherever you want to write. All right, now listen. Please take notes. Write down notes.
Speaker 1. Fatima.
Do you think that the government should control what people do in terms of their own health?
Well, I'm not sure. I think the government should stop the smokers. Maybe they can just smoke in a place for smokers only, not smoking in the street or near children or near the public. I also think maybe alcohol shouldn't be drunk in the street. Perhaps the government could introduce a law against this too. They should also try to limit how much people drink and say you can only drink 3 drinks a day. But I think people should choose how much they exercise or what they eat though. But some people are unhealthy. It's fine, but it's not okay to make other people unhealthy for this.
Speaker 2. Gao.
Do you think that the government should control what people do in terms of their own health?
In some respects, yes. The government, I think, has a duty to protect wider society. So, any activity which harms other people should have restrictions. Take, for example, the issue of smoking. This habit can pose a real threat to those around the smoker. You know, the passive smokers. So this needs to be restricted, and in many countries, I think it is. But there are other activities which are perhaps a thornier issue. Obesity can be a real problem in some societies, yet this does not harm anyone else. So, in my view, you have to let people get on with it and not interfere. I don't think there are any quick fixes for these kind of problems anyway. I mean, even if we were to raise taxes on unhealthy food, I don't think this will stop people from eating it.
All right. Now, who do you think answered better, speaker 1 or speaker 2? Darren, can you give me your reason for that? Don't say I don't know. Don't say I don't know. Why speaker 1? Why would you think it's speaker 1 did better?
Have more level in vocabulary and to set have the plan or fuel.
Okay, thank you for that. That's your opinion. Mary, who would you think the best speaker amongst the two?
I think speaker 2 is better than the
Why?
because I think his speaking test is like he is more word in that in his speaking and like the way he spoke is smoother than the first one.
Exactly, thank you for that. Actually, everyone, the best or the one who did better amongst them is actually speaker 2. Speaker 2 is better. Why? Because he was able to use variety of high level language. Right? Now, as you can see there, or you can hear there, he said, in some respects. So he used these phrase, in some respect, to show respect to others, because there are people who used to smoke because it's their habit already, and there are people who don't smoke because it's bad for their health. So he respects these people and he used these phrase in some respect. He also used interfere with, restrictions. He was able to use these words. The students also uses the collocations and idioms. Well, pose a threat. Pose a threat here is collocation word. Quick fixes and the issues of tertiary issues. What do you mean by tertiary issues? This is an idiom. Idiomatic of expression. Tertiary issues, these are problems which are more weighty. Okay? Now, so much as speaker one. Speaker one uses short phrases only and overuses language like but, near the. There are no examples, particularly high level language. Therefore, speaker two is the best or the better one. Now, everyone, we have here task strategies or task practice. Read the questions below and discuss what kind of answers could it be with a partner. You want to work with a partner or you want to work with your own only? Maybe just work on your own. Anyway, everyone, we have here list 1 and list 2. Now, I'd like you to read these following questions and try to give direct answers so as reasons and give an example as well. And hopefully, we'll be focusing on the lexical resources. Now, I'd like you to deepen your vocabularies and use variety of linking words. Do not overuse but, and, we have so many, moreover, like that, furthermore, okay? In 5 minutes, I'll be asking random names and you need to practice by yourselves on how you answer these kind of questions in a good way. Better way, not good way. In 5 minutes. Make sure you follow the structure, which is number 1. Direct answer, then give reason, and then your example. No need for you to write, just think of how you answer these following questions. Your 5 minutes starts now. Do not use your phone for this one. Try to understand, because when you're having an exam, you cannot use your phone for writing. You can do it. Writer. Make sure you are able to answer the questions with Make sure you're able to use some of the vocabularies because it's to focus on the lexical resources. All right, let's start answering now. I'll call names randomly. I'll be asking 2 questions each of you. So be prepared.
Ê,